this is what would happen every single time. The band will play, right? And I play the part, like I play the song.
Yeah.
And whenever it's time for me to solo, you know what happens? Everybody walks off stage.
Welcome to episode 53 of the Bass Shed Podcast. My name is Ryan Roberts. On the episode is bassist, composer, and producer Anthony Crawford. Anthony tours with Virgil Donati, used to tour with Alan Holdsworth. He'll talk about his time with Erykah Badu. He'll talk about how he kind of got discovered and recognized by a lot of high-profile artists, which I think is a very fascinating story. And honestly, really inspiring. I typically regularly get inspired by pretty much every guest that's been on the podcast, and for one way or another, I'm inspired by their story. And Anthony's was very, very inspiring to me about having an online presence. So I had a great time talking with him. D Lakin Basses, go to www.dlakinbasses.com. Check out what Dan Lakin is up to over there. He is building custom basses. Feel free to hit him up and he will build you the bass of your dreams. And you can talk with him and his design team. Pick all the colors, the body woods, the shape of neck, everything. It's your custom bass. Hit him up for that. Dan is also a distributor for amp companies, and so I am playing the Demeter VTBP-M-800D. Wow. I can't ever get over how long of a product name that is. Anyways, Amp Head is amazing. I got that from Dan. D Lakin Basses. He's dealing with Demeter amps. Go to dlakinbasses.com. See what else he is up to. Shoot him an email and tell him you are a friend of Ryan Roberts from the Bass Shed. LemurMusic.com. Everything you need for the double bass can be found at LemurMusic.com. Lemur has teamed up with the Silver Lake Music Conservatory, which is the school that Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers owns. And they are doing the 5K Funk Run June 19th and 20th to raise scholarship money for the school and music education. Lemur is a part of that. And I love that Lemur is a part of scholarships and things like that for music education. Again, go to lemurmusic.com. Everything you need for the double bass. I will be hitting them up shortly because I need some new upright strings. Trickfish amplification. I've been playing the Minnow. I've been playing the preamp, the Minnow, which is absolutely amazing. What was my time with it this week? I went to a rehearsal the other day and I walk into a backline situation. The amp there, I know what the amp's going to be. The amp is not desirable by any means. But you know, it beat actually lugging mine. So I brought my bass, my electric, and I brought the Minnow. Boom, done. I love the Minnow. Can't say enough about the Minnow by Trickfish, a Trickfish amplification. Today's guest, Anthony Crawford, is also an endorser of Trickfish amps. Stop by trickfishamps.com. You can use the code TheBassShed, the promo code TheBassShed for 10% off. Check out what they're up to. Snoop around their cabinets, snoop around the heads. Definitely, I highly recommend the Minnow. Go to trickfishamps.com. Again, promo code TheBassShed for 10% off. All right, I want to add a quick amendment to episode 52. The last episode of the podcast, I had Matt Heyman on, and we talked about his book that is forthcoming. First and foremost, I want to mention that the book is forthcoming. It is not published yet on Jimmy Blanton, but I was really interested in all his research on Jimmy Blanton and his backstory. Obviously, I'm always interested in backstories. But the book that he's compiled on Jimmy Blanton is forthcoming, and the title that I did reference is the title of his PhD. That is not the working title of the book either. I used that title in the podcast. You cannot look up that title and find Matt Heyman's book. I just want to throw that out there and make a public announcement about that. You will still be able to find more information about it at mattheyman.com. My guest today is Anthony Crawford. I had a great time talking with Anthony. For someone who can play like that, right? I'm always interested to know their backstory and how that thing, how they got that together. And he's going to talk about it. And it's he's so, what's the word I'm trying to think of? He's kind of nonchalant about it. Like you hear him play and it's he's crushing it. Yeah, and he's just so nonchalant about it. And he's going to talk about how he kind of got all that together. He's going to talk about his move from Memphis. He's going to talk about how he got plugged in Los Angeles, that it incorporated another high-profile bass player, Brandon Brown. Yeah, I had an absolute fantastic time talking with Anthony. And here is my talk with bassist Anthony Crawford.
How you doing?
Doing all right. How you doing?
Doing good, man.
Cool. Where you at? You're in LA?
Yeah, I'm in LA. What about you?
Yeah, LA, down in Venice. Where you at?
Hollywood.
Okay. How long you been there?
Oh my God. Well, I've been in LA like probably 13 years now.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, like 13 years. But Hollywood.
Yeah, how long
like
Hollywood?
A few months now.
Oh man. Okay. Where were you at before that?
I lived all over Studio City. Pretty much all over the valley. Woodland Hills.
Okay.
North Hollywood, just all over the valley, actually.
Yeah, I was up in NoHo Arts forever, like Magnolia and Lancashire. Like I was
Really?
right up there. Yeah.
That's where I used to live. I had a couple of apartments out there.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Killing, man. Killing. What have you been up to stay busy during the pandemic?
Oh my God, dude! Since the pandemic, well, I got fully vaccinated. Did
good. That. Okay. That's good. That's a good thing to do over the pandemic is get vaccinated.
I mean,
yeah.
Pretty much not much you can't do, but
no,
But I mean, since the pandemic, of course, I haven't been gigging, but I have been doing a whole lot of production.
Okay.
And a lot of writing.
Yeah.
So I did a few things with like TV stuff. I've been doing like trailer music for like movies.
Okay.
Just a lot more production stuff. That's what I've been doing.
Man, I remember when I heard that they had like special dudes writing for the trailers, because I always thought they jacked excerpts from the film score and then, and they would just cut it up. So it was like just an editing room thing when they did the trailers, but apparently they got their own own writing.
The only thing that they cut up is the actual footage, but the music, no, is the trailers have nothing to even do with the music composers.
Oh, that's so crazy.
On the movies or whatever. It's just totally different. That's a separate thing, actually.
Yeah.
No, that's a whole separate thing. The last trailer I did, they won't even tell me the movie. They won't even tell me the name of the movie. They just, no, seriously, they just, this company I work with, they just sent me an email. It was literally during the pandemic.
Okay.
So, and I guess it was a movie that they, or whatever, some show, whatever, that they filmed before, but they was trying to bring it out. But I guess they just now bringing it out. But like, they just sent me an email and like, yo, man, we need a trailer for this. And that's how I got it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like a totally different thing. I don't even know the name of the movie. I don't know who's working on it. I don't know anything. Only thing I know is they hired me to literally write a trailer score.
Yeah.
I hadn't even seen the video footage. They just wanted something specific.
Wow.
So
what did you send you like? They give you like a sound alike? They're like, yo, we want it to sound like this.
Yeah. Like a little sound alike. They give me some type of guidance.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, I don't even know what the name of the movie. Like, I don't even know anything about the movie. You know what I'm saying? Like anything. So I don't even know I don't know what that trailer's gonna go on. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
I've done
totally
records like that I have no idea like who the artist was, or I didn't even know the names of the songs. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of remember the session and that's about it.
You're hired to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's it, man. So let's go back. You're originally from Memphis.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. And you have a musical family. Your dad is drummer. Your brother, your uncle plays saxophone. Now, is that the uncle who's the brother of your dad? Are they on the same side?
Actually, I will say he's my great uncle. I'm not just calling him my uncle. He's the brother of my granddad, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. Hank Crawford. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So then having all that music around, what were the records that were being played at the house?
Man, my dad played everything. I was raised with my dad.
Okay.
And he played so much music, but he played everything from Stax stuff, a ton of that stuff, that R&B,
Sure. I mean,
Otis
you're
Redding.
there. You're in Memphis. That's That's where it was
lot
going down.
Stuff, a lot of soul, but then he also was a rock drummer too. So I don't know if you're familiar with like Eric Gales and all those people.
No.
It was a lot of rock and roll going on in the house.
Okay.
So the music that I gravitated towards first was like bands like Metallica, King's X, Living Colour, Tool.
Yeah. So progressive rock. More on the I mean, I wouldn't call Metallica progressive, but like Tool, King's X, I consider to be progressive.
Yeah, progressive, like stuff like that. I went through like 80s. Like I went through a phase where I was listening to like bands like Winger, Def Leppard. Just listening to all of that stuff. That is what really made me gravitate towards music. Like listening to that music. Okay, interesting. Not the R&B, not the soul stuff. It was actually the rock stuff.
Really,
you want to play? Yeah.
What do you, if you can like go back to now? How old are you at this time?
I'm 39.
No. When you started playing?
Oh, when I started playing the bass, I was 12.
Okay, pretty young. So at 12, it's like this aggressive rock. It was the aggression, probably. I'm assuming the energy of it that you really gravitated towards.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. To me.
And the energy, the vibe, is everything. I just like everything about it, man. Like, it's very weird, man. And I still do listen to a lot of that stuff. So yeah.
Do you?
Yeah,
that's cool. That's cool. Okay, so then you started to play around 12. What happens here? Are you getting into lessons? Were you just kind of learning from records that were around? Was your dad and your dad's friends showing you some things?
So funny, man. When I started to play the bass, I asked my dad. I was like, how do I learn? Like, how do I learn how to play the bass? And he just told me this simple thing, and I just used it. So all he told me was that, if you want to teach yourself how to play the bass, he was like, just listen to records. Yeah. Listen, find bass players that you like and just do what they do. But just do it your own way. Yeah. Right. So, and back then, I just had tapes and CDs and things like that. So that's how I literally learned how to play the bass. I would literally just get tapes and CDs. I go to the record stores and just find all these albums that and learn all of the music. I remember remember buying records. Yeah. Just all kinds of records, stuff that I was into, and I would literally put the CD on and I would learn the whole entire CD. Okay. Like note for note, everything. Yeah. And then what that turned into was now I found myself jamming along with those bands. I would put the records on, and it's like, okay, now I'm not even learning the music. I'm just kind of jamming. So I would literally just be in front of the radio, just playing and just having fun playing, because that's like I know the music. Right. It freed you up. Yeah, it freed me up. And then, but subconsciously, I didn't know what was really going on. I was really teaching myself how to play and then I would keep going up. So it was like I would learn a simple song. Yeah. And then I would it would be hard at first. And then I just keep playing it until it gets simple and simple. Yeah. And then I just moved. Then I found a more complex song just like that. Then it just got to the point where I would literally be buying like Victor Wooten records. And I would be learning every song note for note. All of that stuff. And then I would just keep playing it to the point where I can literally just play it behind my head. Yeah. And that's literally how I learned how to play the bass. Okay. So did you, at any point, did you get into formal training? Because we'll talk about it a little later on. I mean, you play with some dudes that are, so you play the fusion stuff, which is a heavy theoretical Dude, I'm gonna tell you, man. I'm gonna tell you, dude. My formal training was the radio. I swear. Okay. That was my formal training. I never had lessons. Yeah. I never had a private instructor, teacher. I never had any. But I wanted those things. Yeah. And my dad told me, he was like, "Oh yeah, I can get you a train or whatever." Yeah. But he never did. I think my dad kind of saw that I was kind of doing it on my own, so he didn't even really feel the need to even do that. Right. you know.
Yeah. I mean, you found something that worked.
Yeah, I just literally, even the people that I played with and toured with, ironically, a lot of those people were people that I grew up learning their music anyway.
Okay. That's funny.
So, yeah, so it's like, okay, yeah, I'm playing with this person, but oh my God, I already know their music.
Yeah,
right. Yeah. When I was 13.
Yeah. Well, then at what point, what were those early gigs then? When you started working professionally, what were some of your early gigs?
So I started playing the bass at 12, and I started doing professional studio sessions at age 14.
Okay. That's
so at age 14, let me shut this window really quick. I'm in Hollywood. Let me shut this window. Yeah, helicopters all over the place. Yeah, sure. But at age 14, I was already doing studio sessions, man.
Okay.
So my dad would take me to the studio on things that he was working on. Yeah. Or some of his friends were working on certain things. And they would literally just hire me to play the bass on their music.
Okay.
And for me, I mean, you know what? I don't want to say hire because I didn't even get paid, but it was one of those things where I was in a professional setting. Like I was literally getting prepared for the real world. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I was in professional settings with producers and this, that, and the other. And a lot of times they'll be like, just play whatever you want to play. Okay. You know, and I will literally just pick up the bass and I hear the music. And I was already so accustomed to listening to the radio. Yeah. And just doing my thing. So I'm like, okay, now I'm in the studio and I'm literally doing the same thing that I've been doing in my bedroom. Right. But this time I'm just creating my own bass lines. Yeah. And it just made so much sense. It just all connected together. You know what I'm saying? So,
right. It's all the same thing. Like you're just playing along to what you hear. This time, they're just hitting record. Yeah. That's the only thing that's different. Thing. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. What did you learn through that process? Now, when you're just playing along with the records and you're jamming out, if you play something that doesn't quite fix, oh well, it already happened. You can't go back. You know, you don't have the discretion. How did that come about? Because, like, I mean, when I was 14, I wasn't even playing yet. But those first couple of years, I didn't have any discretion.
Yeah. That's the thing. I didn't have any discretion as well. I just did whatever felt and sounded good to me. Okay.
And they were all cool with it? Like, everybody in the studio was pretty cool?
Yeah, I mean, I think at some points, I think I was overplaying because they would literally tell me to cut back some, you know? Okay. Because I just wanted to play. Like, you know, you're young. It's like you just want to play everything you've learned over the years. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just want to, you know, but my dad actually used to tell me, because every 4 bars I would be doing something. Like, I would be doing something. Yeah. And then my dad would, you know, because I was still immature in my playing. I had so many ideas, but I didn't know how to make it all make sense. Right. And my dad was telling me, he was like, yeah, you know, when you're playing, he was like, you don't want people to just anticipate like when you're going to do something. Like, you know, you have to kind of throw it in like to make it mean more. Because if you're doing something every 4 bars, at some point, like it's not going to mean anything. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. But me at 14 hearing it, I was like, oh no, I'm going to play everything.
Right. You know? Right. Dad, listen to all these notes Wooten's playing. I can do that. I'm going to play all the notes too.
Yeah, I'm like, I've been in my room shedding this music all day. I want to play everything.
Yeah. That's cool, man. That's a great age to get that experience. Yeah. Moving, when did you get into playing like nightclubs and actually when did it turn into a career?
Wow. When it turned to a career, I think I was like 17. Okay. Right out of high school is when I started to hit the gig scene. Well, a little bit before after I graduated, but right out of high school is when I really started to hit the gig scene. And joined a couple of bands and started touring. My first tour, ironically, was like LA. Flying out here from Memphis, that was the big thing for me, and just playing, doing things out here. And yeah, I say around 18 is when I started to hit the gig scene. I started playing like nightclubs 5 nights a week. Started learning a lot of music. Started doing these clubs where you have to play like 40 songs a night. Yeah. Different artists. I was really like 18 years old. I was really holding it down, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, like seriously, man.
That was back in Memphis?
Yeah, that was back in Memphis.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's Now, when I think of Memphis, obviously I just think of like Stax and all that stuff.
Yeah.
What's the scene like, or what was it like there? Live music? What was it? All the soul stuff that I assume it to be, or was it pretty eclectic?
Yeah, the live music was pretty happening, depending on the style of music you were in. So, like, you know, if you were into like a lot of, you know, out there type of music, you know, left field, Memphis probably would not have served you well. But like, if you were into like blues, R&B, gospel, dude, like, it's cracking. Like back then when I was coming up, that was the place, man, because so much talent is in Memphis and come out of Memphis. Yeah. Amazing musicians, amazing singers. Like, I mean, you know, a lot of talent came through Memphis and was actually brought up in Memphis. So when I was coming up, I was around a ton of music, man.
That's great.
Great musicians. All my friends were like crazy good musicians. Like it was a great scene to be in. Yeah.
I mean, I know that there's a whole little clique of Memphis guys out here in LA, you know, Memphis guys stay with, and LA's, as you know, LA is very much like that. Like dudes that have come out from New York, they all kind of huddle together, like Miami guys huddle together.
Yeah.
Dudes that went to USC versus Cal. It's like everybody has their own little group.
Yeah, they have their own
within the scene. Yeah. And everybody that I know, that I've met that's from Memphis is always completely killing.
Yeah.
Like I've never met anybody from Memphis. It's like, yeah, they're good, you know, but everybody from Memphis is completely killing.
Yeah, that's I mean, because we take it seriously out there. Like, you know, the thing is, it's like it's funny, man, because it's like the people when I was coming up, I mean, if you were a musician, you really had to be playing, man. Like you had something to prove. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, you gotta be able to hang.
Yeah, you have to be able to hang. And if you couldn't hang, it would be very obvious. And you want to have as many friends and until you get your stuff together. Like seriously, like it was like that. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Until you get your stuff together, man. Like you know. But I mean, coming up, it's like you want to be like on top of your stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
It's like and we all kind of brought that out here in LA because I noticed in LA, when I came out here, I didn't think like there was anything special about me. Like, honestly, like I didn't, but then it's like the more I played, people were like, dude, like you have your own sound and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, really? I have my own sound? I'm like, dude, I'm just so used to doing this stuff every day.
Right.
To the point where like, I don't think there's anything special about it. But then coming from Memphis, everybody's killing out there. Yeah. So it's like, you know, but it's funny, man. It's a different dynamic, man. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
But it was a lot of practicing, a lot of shedding, what
did you think of the LA scene when you got to LA? Like, what was your first impression of the LA scene? Like, you go out to like the Baked Potato. How long you been out here?
13 years.
13 years. Okay, so there's still some clubs around. Lava Lee was still around.
Yeah.
Charlie O's was still around. Maybe Spazio, if you ever were into like the more straight ahead thing.
Okay.
But Lava Lee and the Potato were like the big kind of electric clubs.
Yeah.
So when you would go out there and you'd go hear these dudes at either one of those spots, what'd you think of the scene?
Dude, like I honestly felt at home, man. Like, dude,
really?
Because I'm gonna tell you, man, when I came out here, right, and then let's say like I went to the Baked Potato.
Yeah.
And then I'm seeing all these guys playing, and I'm like, dude, like they're not. It's a little bit more eclectic. Like they take more risks. They're more open. Like it's more, you know, it's because in Memphis it's kind of like one thing or the other. It's like a lot of R&B, soul, gospel, a little rock.
Yeah,
but pretty much it.
Right.
Unless you're doing your own thing. But LA, when I came out here and I saw all of the creativity and like people like just playing all this style of music, stuff that I grew up listening to, dude, I felt really at home. I'm like, dude,
cool.
I'm like, man, I want to play this stuff, man.
Yeah.
Like, you know, because believe it or not, even in Memphis at one point, I was kind of thinking about like not playing bass anymore and just doing something else, like literally changing careers.
Really? Because you were burnt out on, like you weren't inspired musically? I
wasn't inspired musically because, you know, I just saw myself doing the same thing over and over again. Like, you know, doing these clubs and, you know, it just wasn't inspiring to me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And one of my friends from Memphis, and it's so weird. I don't think I've ever told anyone this, man, but you know Brandon Brown, bass player?
Yeah, I met him a few times. And I think the last time I heard you play was at the Federal Bar. Remember that jam session?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So me and Yaji started that session way back in the day.
Yeah.
So the last time I heard you play, I forgot why I was there, but Ben Williams was in town, who plays with Pat Metheny, the upright. Yeah. And I think he was borrowing my bass, and I came by to pick up my bass or something. I can't remember, but I remember running in to Ben there, and then I looked up and it was you playing, and then we were both just kind of like watching you, and you were crushing it. But that was the last time I heard you play. But I met Brandon there. So to rewind, I met Brandon there, and him and Kyle Bolden. I played once with Kyle.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I met all those guys through that jam session.
Man, I'm gonna tell you, man, Brandon. I gave Brandon his first bass amp, man.
His first bass amp.
I gave him his first bass amp because when he first started to play the bass, he didn't even have an amp. So I literally gave him an amp.
Okay. What was it?
And so we've been tight. Me and Brandon been, we've been cool for a long time, man.
Yeah.
So he came out here in 2007. I came out here in 2008.
Okay.
So he came out here in 2007. And so I was still in Memphis. And I remember one of my friends invited me to some random party in Memphis.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, yo, man, come to this party. And I remember it was late at night. I was like, oh, cool, I'll go. But I didn't know Brandon was back in town. Brandon was in Memphis on that night. And he came to that random party, right?
Yeah.
And so me and Brandon started talking. And he was like, yeah. I was like, dude, how's it going out there, in LA and stuff, man? He was like, man, it's going good. And this and the other. And then, but then he was talking to me. I was like, yo, man. I was like, dude, I think I'm about to get ready to just focus on something else. I'm getting burnt out playing bass, man. Yeah. And then he was shocked. He was like, what? I was like, dude. No, I was like, man. I was like, dude, it's just, I just ain't inspired. I'm just burnt out. I don't know what it is. And I was like, dude, I'm just gonna, because I was about to get ready to start some marketing business venture. I was about to start doing network marketing and stuff like that. I was literally preparing to switch careers. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, were you actually interested in that, or you're just like, yeah, this is a cool gig and I can make some money and just
I was open to literally just try things out outside of music. You see what I'm saying? Because I've always just done music, but then it was I was just to the point where I was just kind of just burnt out playing,
right,
around town and stuff. And so, and he was like, and then me and him, he really talked to me, man. He was like, yo, man, he was like, dude, he was like, don't stop playing. He was like, playing the bass, that's your gift and this and the other. He had a heart-to-heart talk with me.
Okay. Okay.
And then he was like, yo, you know what? I'm gonna tell you what. He was like, dude, come to LA. You can sleep on my couch or whatever, man. And then, dude, just try it out. So that's the reason why I came to LA, because Brandon.
Oh, crazy.
He met me at that party. And just random, I didn't even know he was in town. He just came to the party randomly, and just saw me there, and then literally convinced me to move out here.
Okay. And then so how long from that party until you were in LA? How long in between?
Oh my God, maybe a few months.
Okay.
So that was in 2007. I came out here New Year's Day 2008.
Okay.
Yeah. So 2008, I left Memphis New Year's Day. And I came out here January the 2nd, 2008.
Yeah. Okay.
And I drove out here.
Yeah.
From Memphis. It took me 2 days.
How was it? Did you that's pretty good. You didn't stop and see sights. Go cross country in 2 days. You just plowing through. Yeah.
I just kept going, man.
So cool. You're out here. You know Brandon. You're sleeping on Brandon's couch.
Yeah, I slept on this couch for 3 months, man.
But that's a great dude to introduce you to the scene, because I think by the time I met him, he was already playing with Stevie. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know when he got that gig, but I think I met him in maybe 2012.
Yeah. He's all over the place. That dude is playing with everybody.
Yeah. I think he's got his own. Last I heard, he had his own thing.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you doing? You going out to jams with Brandon, the Cafe Cordial, stuff like that?
Yeah,
Cozy's was around then.
Yeah, Cozy's. That right there was our spot, Cozy's.
Okay.
And actually, the night that I got out here, he took me to Cozy's. The same night I got out here.
Cool.
And then that's when I started meeting everybody, and Goucher will be coming down there, hanging out. All these musicians, and
Yeah.
it would be so weird because these musicians would be like the Cats, you know what I'm saying? And then they would all be in this little hole in the wall place hanging out.
Especially cozies, like just old, dingy. But that's just like what those old hangs in the valley were like. I feel like like everybody was just out and they're just hanging, and it was great.
Yeah. That was crazy. I'm like, dude, like all these Cats, man, just doing all this stuff, man. They just literally just at this little place, just like, just hanging, man. I was like, dude, that's how I met like Ethan Farmer and like all the guys, man. They were just there, and that's how I started meeting a lot of people,
Yeah. So what were some of the first gigs you picked up in LA?
The first gig that I did in LA, oh my God. Oh, Jesus, let me think. Let me think of this. I think my first gig I did in LA probably was Cozy's.
Okay. The house band?
Yeah. Because I was hanging out there so much, and I think they and I was playing, and they was like, oh, so they got me to play one night.
Yeah.
But like my first steady gig in LA was the Comedy Store on Sunset.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so I was playing there like every Tuesday night. And how I got that gig was Tim Bailey, the bass player that was playing at Cozy's, just recommended me.
Okay.
And
I didn't even know they had music.
Yeah, it was in between the comedy skits.
Oh, there's a band.
Yeah, that was like a band to play in between like the comedians, but when they're walking up stage. Oh yeah. And we did that probably a year, and that was a cool little gig because that was my first gig. That was my first gig that I had that was like on a steady basis. Sure. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And, so it was just a little thing that was kind of getting me off the ground. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So.
And then how did things snowball? So who else was in the Comedy Store band?
Oh, it was this drummer. His name was Ray. And they had different piano players. Lance Tolbert.
Okay.
You might know him. He's a bass player. He plays with like a lot of people. And he was the piano player, pretty much. And then I was the bass player. And then they had this one guitar player. His name was Mike.
Okay.
This was years ago, man. But yeah. But, I mean, speaking of musicians, Lance, I was playing with him at the Comedy Store years ago. And now when I see him, I mean, this guy is like, producing Mariah Carey records and all kinds of stuff.
Oh man. Okay.
Like he's like I'm really proud of that guy, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, remember us logging out equipment to the Comedy Store,
right?
Playing, and then now, like when I talk to him, like this guy is like doing all kinds of stuff now, man.
Oh, that's cool.
It's the real, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, man.
How long did that gig last?
They get lasted maybe like a year.
Okay.
I will say.
Okay, that's pretty strong.
Like a year.
Right.
Yeah.
How'd you get into I think I remember I first heard of you, I think, with Virgil.
Virgil.
Yeah. And then I know you know him too. You know Mahesh Balasuria? Yeah. So me and Mahesh used to play a lot together. And I remember when he told me that he got Holdsworth. And then he actually invited me to come down to that last gig of Holdsworth. I think it was in San Diego. Okay. Like, dude, you got to come down, man. Like, come hang. I'm like, all right, I got nothing going on. Maybe I'll come down. And I didn't. And then it turns out to be Holdsworth's last gig. That sucks.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Yeah.
How'd you get into that? See, coming from like the cozy scene, which is for people, I guess, not in LA, that was like the R&B gospel.
Yeah.
Road guy hang. And so that is kind of drastically different than Virgil Donati and Alan Holdsworth.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing about me, man.
Not for you. Like, I understand it from you because that's the stuff you were listening to growing up. So cool. But how did you get into those artists, Virgil and Alan Holdsworth, when you're hanging with like Goucher and Ethan Farmer?
Man,
and the R&B world, man. Like how did you cross that bridge in the LA world?
That's a good question, man. That's a good question. Like the thing is, I've always been a versatile musician. Like I've always played so much music. And it's so funny that one of my first hangs was like a gospel R&B hang, but that right there really wasn't the music that started me off with bass.
Okay.
You know, like I told you, the stuff that got me really into what I'm doing is that progressive stuff.
Sure.
You see what I'm saying?
Sure.
So, I was talking with somebody. I was talking with some of the cozy guys, right?
Okay.
And I was going through a period where I was like, oh my God, like, you know, like it's kind of, you know, it's hard to like, you know, find some gigs out here.
Yeah.
So I was going through that little stage where I was getting a little discouraged, whatever. And then, so a few people came to me, right? And they told me, and it was on some political stuff, like some real like political stuff, man. They was like, Anthony, the reason why no one really wants to hire you for a gig, and they literally told me this, and a few people told me this. They were like, you're just too good. Hey, and I'll tell you people that told me that. Ethan Farmer told me that.
Ethan told you? Really? Because Ethan's killing. Like,
yeah, Ethan told me that. Some of J-Lo's camp, they told me that. Like a lot.
Okay.
They all told me that. They was like, Anthony, man, you're too good. People will be intimidated by you, right? And then, so I'm thinking to myself, like, dude, but I know how to play music. Like,
right.
You know, I know how to play a song. Like, I don't get up there and kill on everything I do.
Yeah.
And they were like, they was like, still, like, you're just too good. Like, you can't, like, people are not going to want to hire you. So pretty much they were trying
so
to
they
kill
thought
me,
you were going to do that thing. Like if you were on, let's say if you were on J-Lo's gig, like they just assumed you were going to do that all the time. Like with all the chops and the thing,
dude,
like they didn't think you were just going to play music.
I don't know what they thought I was going to do. But for some reason, every time I went to a jam session, and this happened a lot too. Every time I went to a jam session, every time I did something like that, this is what would happen every single time. The band would play, right? And I play the part, like I play the song.
Yeah.
And whenever it's time for me to solo, you know what happens? Everybody walks off stage. That happened all the time. And one time, I was at Cozy's, right?
Yeah.
I was playing, and I'm just caught up in my world. I'm just doing whatever I'm doing. I look around. Nobody's on stage with me. Everybody just walked off. Everybody's in the audience looking. And you know what happens when I got done playing my solo? Cozy's, they closed. They closed. They was like, well, nobody else wants to play, so we're just going to close.
What time of night? Was this at like 10 o'clock? Was it still kind of early?
Yeah, it was early. Like, it was still supposed to be going. But nobody else wanted to get on stage and play after me. No, ain't nobody.
You literally shut it down. You literally shut it down.
And that has happened a couple of times, right?
Yeah.
So people would see that and they'll be like, oh my God, he can play, but I don't know if he can play an R&B gig.
Right. Yeah.
So
see, LA is funny like that. Whatever they see you doing, or like if that's the first time they heard you or saw you, that's all you do all the time.
Yeah.
Like LA is super quick to pigeonhole people into however they met you. That's the only thing you do. So if they only heard you solo, all you do is solo.
Yeah, all you do is solo. But
that's it.
You know, they don't have no other idea of all this other stuff,
exactly.
You know, so this is what I got from that when people were telling me that. Like I said, a lot of the cats, like the main A-list musicians, were telling me the same thing.
Okay.
I was like, it sounds like that they're literally trying to get me to dumb myself down, like, you know, like really dumb myself down so I can kind of fit in.
Right.
And that's what I got from them. Okay. So instead of me falling in that little circle of like, oh, I got to fit in, so let me dumb myself kind of stuff, which I don't do. So I said to myself, you know what? I'm just going to create my own gigs. I'm going to do my own stuff.
Cool.
And so I started putting out my own records. I started doing my own YouTube videos. I started doing my own thing. Speaking of which, off the subject, I have to redo my website again because that closed and I forgot to renew it. So I'm gonna get that back going. But it got to a point. It got to a point where I started to really establish an online presence. Like on YouTube. Okay. I was doing lessons, virtual lessons. Like I was doing this stuff back in the day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I was, what else was I doing? I got my web, and a lot of musicians didn't even have a simple website back then too.
No.
I was, when people found out, it was like a big deal too.
Yeah.
Are
you pretty tech savvy? Are you pretty cool with all that?
I know a lot of tech savvy people. I don't have.
Okay. That's the ultimate tech savvy. That's the most savvy you can be, is delegated.
Dude, I'm gonna tell you, man. Like, I'm gonna tell you, I think I'm a pretty smart person.
Yeah.
Because if I know if I can't do something, I'm not gonna try to do it. Simple as that. Right. I'd rather hire someone to do something that I know for a fact I can't do, so that way there's no headaches.
Right. Yeah.
And just be done with it.
Right.
I started investing into my career, investing into myself. I started marketing myself. I started taking out Google ads, Google, all kinds of advertisements, advertising my records. I started doing Pandora. This is when Pandora literally just now just started coming out.
Oh, wow.
I was doing all of this stuff with my music. And what happened was I got an idea, like, dang, like YouTube and things like this. I said to myself, like, this is literally a way for me to audition for anything I want to audition for. I can send this to anybody I want to send it to. Yeah. I can literally just do anything I want to do without even being there. So, and I've got major gigs from YouTube, like literally like Erykah Badu, like Jeff Lorber, like all these guys hit me up. They hit me up from YouTube. And I remember.
What years did you play with Badu?
Huh?
What years did you play with Badu?
2012. It's on YouTube.
Okay.
And I remember specifically telling people when I first came to LA and I felt all this stuff out, I was like, dude, if you're not on YouTube, I don't know what you're doing. Like, dude, get on YouTube. People was not trying to hear that stuff, man. Yeah. Because they were so used to doing it their way. And I can tell you somebody else too. A real famous bass player. I'm not going to even say his name, but he's a famous bass player.
Okay.
He made a comment one time. This was a few years ago. He was like, a musician that's on YouTube is not really considered like a real musician, right?
Oh, man.
Somebody chimed in. I had nothing to do with this conversation. He was just some arrogant, like, bass player.
Yeah.
Someone chimed in and said, and they tagged me. They said, what about Anthony Crawford?
Oh, okay. Okay.
And then, you know what he said? He said, that's an exception.
You got to pass. You got to pass. Yeah, you got a free pass.
I'm not gonna say his name because I know you know him.
Okay,
but I'm just letting you know that that's the kind of mindset I had when people started telling me to dumb myself down. Really, what I amped it up more. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So fast forward, that's how Virgil found me. YouTube.
Oh, on YouTube. Okay.
He saw my videos.
Yeah.
And Virgil doesn't know this, but I remember meeting him years ago. At a gig he did, and I walked up to him because I was a fan of him before I even started working with him. Yeah. I walked up to Virgil. I said, Virgil, I was like, I would like to work with you one day. He was like, oh, okay. But he doesn't remember that. He doesn't remember that. Now me and him are friends now. But he
I think the first time I met you was at a Virgil gig because I knew the promoter. I forgot what year this was. This must have been, what are we in now? 21? Mm-hmm. I don't know, maybe 2013 maybe. This was kind of a while, and you guys had just finished a tour, and the tour was ending at King in Hollywood.
Oh yeah.
And the promoter asked me, he's like, yo, you want to bring your band in and open for Virgil? I'm like, if it works, cool, I'm down.
Yeah.
And so whatever, he did the posters up, and my band was cool and we were ready. Actually, Mahesh was on that. Mahesh was going to do it with me. He was in my band. And then for some reason, something happened that, I don't know, I got a call at 2:00 or something. We were getting Thai food after the rehearsal. And the promoter calls me. He's like, yo, man, there's something with Virgil's kit, I think. And he was concerned about it, or it was going to take more time. It was some setup thing. I can't remember. But I still went out to the gig and I met Virgil there. And, it was cool to meet him. And I think I'm pretty sure I met you there. That was the first time I met you.
Okay.
I have no idea if that was the year. I know it was at King.
Yeah, I remember King. I remember that gig.
Okay. I don't know if you guys had played there more than once, but that was, I think Holdsworth was there with playing with you guys.
Okay, maybe this is another gig because Holdsworth didn't play with us.
No, maybe I saw Holdsworth another night. Maybe Holdsworth. I know I saw Holdsworth there too. I can't remember if he was playing with Virgil or if it was a Holdsworth thing. I don't know.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I remember King. I remember that gig.
Yeah,
that was a cool gig, man.
It was a cool gig.
Yeah, but yeah, that's literally how I got his gig, man. Literally through YouTube. He saw the stuff that I was doing, and he just emailed me. He was like, and this happened time and time again. Like, just artists would just email me, because of YouTube.
Okay.
And, they'd be like, I like what you do or whatever, and then I start working with them,
Great. Now, when you were cutting the YouTube videos, were you thinking audition tape? Is that what you were cutting, or were you just like playing around in your room and you're like, yeah, I'm going to record this and then just put it out there?
Yeah, I'm just like, I have so many videos with me literally just in my room just playing.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm like, you know what? This sounds cool. I'm just going to put it on YouTube. Like,
okay.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Because I was looking at YouTube more so like, like a relationship. Like, the people that follow me, I want them to kind of see me literally in my pajamas, just messing around on the bass.
Like a real life look at what's up.
Like they're getting to know me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay. That's a cool approach.
It's not all smoke and mirrors every time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Right.
So I have a lot of those videos, man. I have some videos of me talking in the camera, and it's so bootleg. Like half of my head is cut off throughout the whole video. I think the camera only shows like my nose or something. That's how bootleg it was. But dude, people appreciate stuff like that though.
Yeah.
I think, it's like the camera's literally cutting off half of my head.
Yeah. They don't care.
I uploaded it anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think production value is what they're concerned with.
Yeah.
They're just there for some content.
This is a real dude. This is a real guy.
Right. At what point did you get into writing and doing production and writing for trailers? Like, how long and how did you get into that from? I mean, like, you've already kind of reinvented your time in LA here a few times. You're hanging at Cozy's. You're doing the gospel R&B scene. You're hanging with those dudes. Then you get into like the progressive jazz rock, I mean, it's fusion, both fusion. You get into the fusion thing, and then you're writing. So these are all like three definite career, like separate worlds.
Man, I'm gonna tell you, man. If I can go back in time, in 2006 is when I first started producing. If I can go back in time and say, Anthony, take this seriously, I would have done it.
Okay.
Because here's the thing. I kind of got into producing kind of a little bit by accident. I just so happened to be over one of my friend's house. He had Reason, this program Reason.
Yeah. I remember hearing
And he was showing me on his computer. He's like, yo, man, like, dude. I was like, man, you making this on the computer?
Yeah. He
was like, yeah. Because I'm coming from old school. I'm thinking, like, in order for you to make music, you need to be in front of a console.
Right.
You need to be in a studio.
Right. You got to book out the studio. You got to have the whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's what I'm used to.
Right.
And then, and he made some tracks on his computer. I'm like, dude, this stuff sounds amazing. Yeah. I was like, dude, show me how to do this. So I went and got a computer. He gave me like a cracked version of Reason or something like that. I got like a little MIDI keyboard, and I just started doing tracks. Beats, and just started making music just for fun. Like, it was just the fact that, like, I can literally just sit at home and just make a song out of nothing, and then I listen to it, and it's like I enjoyed it.
Right.
But I never took it seriously though. Okay. I just did it just for fun. Like, I would literally make a track like every few months. I would sit in front of my computer and then make a beat, and then like 3 months later, I might not do anything.
Right.
But fast forward. Now, like a couple of years ago, when I started to get like serious about that stuff, and I literally felt myself doing the exact same thing that I was doing back in 2006, and I'm like, dude, I could have just kept this going, and it could have been so much more going on right now with me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like I always did it as a hobby, but now within a couple of years, today, like I've been taking it more seriously.
Okay.
Like making more of a business out of it, like working every day, networking with music supervisors, music licensing companies, investing and going into seminars, talking with decision makers, hitting up, they're like treating more like a business. You know what I'm saying?
It's a hustle. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a never ending hustle. And how I got that trailer was because a couple of years ago, I was at some seminar that I paid to go to, just to meet people. Yeah, literally just to meet people.
Right.
But the people that I was meeting were the people that you want to meet if you're in that world. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I met one of the owners of this company, and this was back in 2017-ish, something like that. And like I said, this is 2021, and he literally just hit me up randomly, like, I don't know, 3-4 years later.
Yeah.
We made that deal happen. You see okay. So sometimes stuff has to develop. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's cool. What was the nature of the music? What kind of music? What kind of themes did you?
It's more like sound design, electronica.
Epic. Like just a lot of epic, like kind of sound bed stuff.
Yeah, epic. But like when you listen to it, it's like it has like it's like an action thing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's like an action. Like Yeah.
Pretty percussive.
Yeah, definitely a lot of percussion and a lot of like synths and sound design, a lot of epicness and wishes and booms and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it's since Game of Thrones, man. I'm just hearing cello and everything now,
dude.
I think it's because of Game of Thrones.
Yeah, like sometimes when something kicks off, and I notice this, a lot of stuff is trendy. So when something is like popular, especially in the TV world, once they find that one thing is popular, everybody wants it.
Right, everybody's on the cello now.
Yeah, everybody wants it.
Do you use any cello on the track?
Oh my God, all the time. All the
time. Love it.
All the time.
Dude,
I'm gonna tell you, man, like, dude, look, I'm a bass player, but at the same time, like, dude, I'm a businessman too. Like, I'm like, okay, if this is what they want, hey, you got it.
Yeah, that's the gig. So you got to do it. You got to do it. How many records do you have out under your own name?
Under my own name, 3 records.
3 records.
I have a live record that's in the mix of being mixed, and then I have another record that's in the middle of being mixed as well. I have Robert Glasper's people doing the mixing for that stuff because I like. Yeah. Dope. And I have a live record too that I recorded. That I need to just focus on getting that mixed, and I can literally just put that out as well, man. So
tell me about the records. Where was the live record recorded?
The live record was recorded at a concert in Pasadena at the Rose. The Rose Bowl? Yeah, not the Rose Bowl. It's like the Rose. It's a concert hall. It's called the Rose.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we did that.
Who's on it? Who's in the band?
Gergo Burlai?
Know of him. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God, that dude is a machine, dude. That dude is a machine. He's one of my favorite drummers. But like, he's on it. And I have a couple of my friends. You might not know him. One guy his name is Mark Rodriguez. Playing guitar. Amazing guitars. And then I have another friend, we call him John on keys.
Okay.
And these are like just really good friends I've just known throughout the years since I've been in LA, man.
Yeah. What kind of stuff? Is it progressive metal?
This is my style of music. I call it urban jazz.
Okay, urban jazz?
Yeah, so like it's like a mixture of jazz with like hip hop.
Okay, flavor. So like kind of on the Glasper, Kamasi, Thundercat.
Yeah, a little of that. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
The studio record that I'm going to release it's like Robert Glasper meets Yellow Jackets. Everything is organic. Like live, like we recorded all together in the same room. Yeah. Like real, like Yamaha C7 piano, real Fender Rhodes, bass, drum. Like we're all playing how they used to do it back in the day, like in the same room, just playing.
Right now, is that the same band? Is this your band? Is this
guys?
This
is my stuff. This is my stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, but is it the same personnel as the live record?
Oh no, the live record totally different.
Okay.
Because I went a different direction.
Okay.
With this next, the live record was I wanted a certain sound, but this record I wanted another certain sound. And the people that I called specifically for this were the people I know that can do it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Who's on that one?
So I got this guy. His name is Lance Lucas on keys. He's he's one of my friends from Memphis, and I have another. You know Frank Fluker, drummer. You hip to him?
No. What's his last name?
Frank Fluker. So are you hip to Frank McComb?
No. There's a whole.
Yeah.
There's a whole scene out there. That's what's weird about LA. It's like you and I will know so many of the same people, and then like you'll tell me some names, like no idea.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Frank Fluker is another drummer friend of mine from Memphis that also lives in LA.
Okay.
And Lance lives in Nashville, but he's from Memphis as well. And everybody else, that was the core of everything. Just us.
Okay.
You know, and everything else, we just kind of just hired out, edit things like that. But the core of everything was literally us in the studio recording.
Okay. So now when you go in and you have ideas, do you let them work out their own part? Do you write stuff out for them and be like, I specifically want this, but everything else you can do whatever you want to? That's
the thing. I never write nothing out, man. I never write things out, man. Like if I'm collaborating with people, I want them to bring their thing.
Yeah. Cool.
I
mean, that's the freedom you had going all the way back to when you were 14.
Yeah, I want them to just do their thing. Like, I mean, of course, if I have certain things that I want done, they can do it. But not, a lot of times when I'm set on certain things, and then I just let people do what they're going to do, it just comes out better to me.
Yeah.
I'm like, I would never have thought about that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right. They think, I mean, they think like that. Like drummers think like drummers. And so they're going to come up with something better than I could, or whatever. Yeah. So I agree with you. I just let them do their thing because they know it better.
Yeah. I'll tell you a funny story. Back around 2015, this metal band hit me up. They just got together and everything. And their engineer cold emailed me from YouTube, of course. Yeah. And he was like, I got these guys in the studio and this, that, and the other. And we saw your videos and, we would like to get you to do their record. Right. And so I said, like, okay, send me a song and then I'll record it and then see how they like it, whatever. And so they sent me a song. And when I heard it, it's like a cross between like Stream Theater, Yngwie Malmsteen, like that type of metal.
Okay.
Progressive.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I grew up on this stuff. I already know what they're trying to do. So I recorded the bass line and they loved it, right? And they were like, oh my God, can you do the record? I'm like, cool, yeah, sure. So they sent me the record. And on top of that, they sent me charts, right?
Okay.
And then I was like, wait a minute. I was like, do you want me to like?
I know where you're going with this. Yeah, I can already tell where you're going with this. Yeah.
I was like, you know what? I just lied to him. I'm like, look, you know what? I can't read. I'm just gonna play what I want to play. Yeah. And I was like, huh? I said, trust me. I'm just gonna play whatever I want to play. Just trust me on this.
Yeah.
I'm like, cause like you're a guitar player trying to write bass lines. I already know this is gonna sound whack. Like I just know.
Yeah.
I know it's gonna sound whack. I've been through this plenty of times.
Sure.
Guitar players trying to write bass lines, it doesn't work. I'm sorry.
Right.
Let me handle the bass part. So fast forward, I did the record, and they loved the record. Apparently, other people loved the record, and they got signed with Sony and everything, and they just freaking took off.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, man. So like,
what was the name of the band?
Weatherfall.
Weatherfall?
Yeah, Weatherfall.
Okay.
Yeah.
They didn't ask you to do any of the road dates or anything?
Yeah. So I'm still working with them and stuff.
Oh, you're still working with them? Okay.
Yeah. We literally before the COVID, we did Europe and all this stuff. Like we did a lot of tours and already.
Oh, cool. Okay.
But that was the beginning of it. They had to like literally trust me.
Yeah.
Do my thing,
Yeah. How was that an easy conversation when you told them like, yo, I'm just gonna do my own thing? Were they cool? Or were they cool. But okay.
No, it was cool. They were hesitant, but I was like, look, just trust me. Just trust me on this.
Right.
If you don't like it, you don't have to use it, but trust me. Let me just do the bass.
Sure. Yeah, exactly. How many, like right before COVID ended, so you're working with Virgil still?
Uh-huh.
You're working with that band. Who else are you working with?
Oh my God. Wow, that's a good question. I was really working a lot with Weatherfall, that band, because like I said, they were starting to tour a lot. They still do have stuff booked, but it's, depending on the conditions. But sure. I was starting to work with that band a whole lot, of course, with Virgil. And I was doing a lot of I was getting into doing a lot of session stuff. And I was doing a lot of stuff around town as well. Like just, baked potato and stuff like that.
Sure.
A lot of those gigs. So
sure. Who are you at with the potato?
Well, the potato,
I mean, it's always a pickup band at the potato, but
yeah. The baked potato, I was playing a lot with Alex Mahakachik.
Yeah.
Yeah, him. Me and Gurgle Burl, I was doing a lot of stuff there. I was playing just a lot just with just random people, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, whoever will call if I'm available,
Right. I feel like that's how the potato works.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like they just opened back up, like a week or so ago.
Oh my God, dude.
They're finally I'm surprised. Yeah. I mean, I'm glad that they're back, but yeah, they just opened, and I was going to go down there to show some support on, I think it was a Sunday, that they opened back up, and I just, I mean, you know how it goes with the baked potato. There's always somebody amazing playing there, more often than not, but you take it for granted after a certain point, like, whatever, I'll catch them next time,
oh
whereas, like, you get spoiled. You get spoiled by them always just being there.
I mean, my favorite gig at the baked potato is I have a couple. One of them was with, of course, Alan Holford.
Sure.
But another gig, I was playing with Gary Willis. You hip to Gary?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, man. Like, me and Gary, we was around NAMM, so we did a couple of gigs, but we did the baked potato too.
Okay.
Like, I was playing, like, we were both playing, we was two bass players.
Right. Who's the drummer?
Gertico Barlow. He was playing drums.
Okay. Yeah. And just the two of you?
It was me, Eddie Brown?
Yeah.
Eddie Brown, Gertico Barlow, me on bass, and Gary Willis on bass.
That's amazing.
Yeah, dude.
He's in Spain now, isn't he? Gary Willis?
Yeah, he's teaching out there. Dude, like, I'm not gonna lie, man. Like, I rarely get starstruck, man, but dude, I could not believe that I was on stage playing with that dude, man.
That's pretty crazy. I'm
like, this is okay. Dude, do you know who you are?
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, I don't think you really know who you are, Gary.
Yeah, I mean, you must, coming from that, the progressive thing that you came from, you must have loved those early Tribal Tech records.
Dude, like, that's the stuff I was growing up on.
Yeah.
Like, I still do listen to that stuff. Like, Tribal Tech, like, even their early stuff, like, even their first records, I'm like, dude, they was just on some different stuff, man.
Yeah.
Like, and it's like, I'm listening, and I remember studying Gary, and, like, just being amazing, like, just guys, amazing fretless player, amazing soloist, so knowledgeable, and so, like, his groove, he got one of the heaviest grooves, man. Like, his groove is just nuts. Mm-hmm. But then he can solo his butt off, like, crazy.
Yeah.
And, like, I just don't know many bass players that can do that stuff, man.
Right, to go from both sides. Without like the bass, the groove part doesn't suffer and the solos don't suffer. Yeah. Like, both excel.
Yeah, and he's so knowledgeable. Like, I mean, his harmonies and, like, all that stuff. And then it's like, this dude hit me up to play with him. Like, dude, come on now.
Oh, was that a YouTube situation? Did he hit you up on YouTube?
Yeah. Dude,
Love it.
I'm gonna tell you, dude. YouTube this been my gig. This been my audition tapes, man.
Okay, you still doing it? You still releasing
I don't
YouTube
do it as much as I used to, but I still do it.
Okay.
I don't do it as much.
Yeah.
But because I'm focused on others. I'm focused on trailers.
You're doing movie trailers that you don't even know the movie.
I don't even know the movie. I'll let you know when it comes out, man.
Yeah, do. What do you got coming up the rest of 21? You got some gigs opening back up and some tours coming back for you?
Well, so far, Witherfall has something at the end of the year in Europe. So far.
Cool.
But that's, up in the air, of course. But that's pretty much it. I plan on releasing and finishing up at least my live record.
Yeah.
At least finishing that one up. And then, just focusing more on the writing stuff, the outside, TV, whatever, you know what I'm saying? So
that's a cool thing to get involved with. That's,
yeah.
Because then you could just choose the gigs you want to actually go. Mm. Go play, or the tours. Like, you don't have to be a slave to the gigs.
Dude, like, one of my mentors taught me that stuff, man, because he literally just wakes up every day because he converted his garage into a studio. He just wakes up every day and just walks to his garage and just do music all day. And that's what he does. Yeah.
That's it.
That's what he does.
That's it. Well, what do you do, man? Do you want to what's the URL to your website? You want to do a shout out so that if someone listens to this in a couple months, if they find it in a couple months from now, will you have your website up?
Yeah. I'm gonna get that website up in a couple of weeks. Actually, in a couple of weeks, I'm actually going to release a bass course.
Oh, cool.
I'm working with this company, Spectrum Digital.
Spectrum Digital.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And Gear Guides. You have the Gear Guides? No. Okay. So they're very popular, like other YouTubers. Yeah. And we're all gonna collab, and I'm gonna release a bass course, like literally starting from the beginning. Okay. Literally, just the bare minimum, learning how to strum a string.
Yeah, like holding the bass, like tuning it,
everything. Yeah. I'm gonna have examples. I'm gonna have stems where the players can download the stems and practice. I'm gonna have PDF files of everything. I'm gonna have different ways to play scales, different ways to play grooves, like different. I'm literally taking it back to the beginning, the basics. You know what I'm saying?
Cool. Yeah.
No gimmicks, no fancy stuff on this course. Literally, how to do the basics. Then future courses, I'm gonna take it up. I'm gonna keep taking it up, but I'm gonna take it from the beginning. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Cool. That's gonna be the next thing. That's gonna be the very next thing that I'm gonna release pretty soon. Okay. And of course, by then I'm gonna have my website up. Of course.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You'll need the website at that point.
Yeah. So
cool. Man. Dude, it's been great. Thanks for taking the time to do this. All right, that was my talk with Anthony Crawford. I will have a link up to his YouTube channel. I love kind of how he used where he got some of his inspiration from. So when people would suggest that he kind of dumb it down or play a certain way to fit a role or to fit in, how he's just like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm doing my thing. And how he used so much of this kind of this negativity almost that he would get, and how he used that as fuel to just kind of get amped up and continue to pursue who he was on the instrument. I love that. And just really being an individual. I think it's very easy to get caught up in trying to sound like somebody else all the time. Because I mean, that's a discussion in and of itself, right? All these people that are high profile bass players are like, well, that's good, so I have to sound just like that to be good. False. I think the idea there is to learn from them, and we can absorb from them, and then but still be us. And so I think even the advice that Anthony Crawford received from his father back in the day of, do it your way. That's the best. And Anthony has had a very strong career based on those principles. I think that's absolutely amazing. If you are enjoying the Bass Shed podcast, please subscribe on whatever platform you are listening to it on. It's on Apple Music, Stitcher, Google Play, Spotify. It's on some other ones. Too. I honestly, straight up, have no idea how it got there. I have no idea how it's on Podbean, but it's on Podbean. I look over the analytics every once in a while, and I'm always fascinated by what? How did that happen? Okay. Huh. Interesting. Anyways, wherever you're listening to it, hit subscribe. As always, if there's someone you'd like to hear from on the podcast, email me at ryan@thebasshed.com. We'll see if we can make that happen and bring that interview to you. That's all I got, folks. That's it for this one. I will catch you on the next one in a minute.